I'd say that is my most favorite prank that I've ever done.
He's like, I went to bed listening to this thing, and somehow I was just all of a sudden watching a video of a bunch of girls farting. They're just
A bunch of hot girls farting.
Hello and welcome to Merriment with myself, Carly, and Johnny Jansen, a couple of married creatives taking an hour a week for real talk jibber jabber after our baby has gone to bed. This week gets off to a comically stumbly start, but it may be my favorite conversation since we started the podcast. We're talking what to do with that box of mangoes you bought. We answer the question, does your head turn into a volcano when you wash your hair with baking soda and vinegar? Johnny convinces me that he should probably prank me sometime. It might be fun. And we share the new date scheme we've come up with for people with little time, like us. Thanks for jumping into it with us. You know what to do if you like it. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. Now come on in and join the merriment.
All right, here we go. How do you want to do this podcast? What do you want to start talking about?
Are we? Oh, we're rolling. Hey,
we're rolling. What do you want? What's the first thing you want us to talk about?
Whoa! This
What's
is like
number one.
You're attacking me all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
it's all up to you.
Dude, I just got out of the bedroom with the baby. I'm still like, I'm trying really hard to rally my energy, but it's just going to take a little bit of easing into it. So how are you?
I am fine. But I'm holding back a burp. I just breathed out the burp.
Never heard that out of you before.
Yeah. Well, if you put a mic in front of me, I'll hold back all the burps. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're doing this once again, another week.
Yeah, it's Monday. It's a Monday. Actually,
Yeah.
no,
For us,
a Friday?
it is.
It's a Friday, or it could be
We
a
shouldn't
Saturday.
reveal our secrets
Well,
about when we record our.
that's true. Is it a secret?
It's not really.
It's not a secret. It's a Monday. It was a hard Monday today for me.
Was it?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It was just the worst kind of rainy day in Vancouver.
It really was a crazy rainy day.
Big cold drops of rain, and no matter how much rainproof gear you have, it gets all up in there. It just gets everywhere.
You make it sound like you rode your bike to work today.
But I didn't. I just walked from the parking lot to work, which is a bit of a walk. It's about 3 minutes of a walk.
Yeah, it just kind of gets in your bones, right?
Yeah, it gets
that
right
cold
up.
rain.
Oh, it's the worst. And then even though I had longer than normal sleep, I don't think it was that great of a sleep, but because I was just falling asleep.
You're so tired all day.
I feel like so bad.
On days like this, it doesn't have to do with sleep.
No,
I feel like it really
has to do with Mondays.
But I really feel like when there's an oppressively rainy day like this and the air is just heavy with moisture, everybody's talking about being so tired and so lethargic.
Yes.
I think it's something in the air.
And it doesn't help that at my work, I happen to work in the basement of the Vancouver Aquarium.
Basement.
Yeah,
wow, isn't that pleasant?
And there's no windows, and in our room there's just sounds of just water, flowing water.
Really?
So it always sounds like it's
raining.
Just raining.
Oh my gosh! So you leave the rain and you can't even.
Well, I put on headphones. It's fine. There's still a vibe in the room, but on a sunny day, and it's it sounds like it's rainy and crappy outside. But then you go out and you're like, oh no. Yeah.
Do you have neon lights in your office?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Neon lights. Like those
neon? No, what am I trying to say? What are those
neon green? Maybe if it's a dance party, we should get some neon lights. That'd be dope.
That would be pretty sweet. No, but what are the lights?
Halogen?
No, I'm
fluorescent?
talking about fluorescent. That's what it is. Yeah.
No. They're like LEDs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That also doesn't sound nice.
It's just okay. You get used to it. You adapt. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
I had some serious natural light today.
Oh, lucky you.
Well, we got, we've got these big windows here, so that was nice. But
big
no, I took our boy outside in the rain today for the first time ever. Forrest went puddle jumping.
Wow. How was that?
Well, he doesn't really know how to jump exactly,
he knows
but
how to stomp.
Oh, he had a great time. And it was a pretty cold, rainy day, but I was like, dang it, you know what? I'm going to take him out, and if he's cold, he'll cry, and then we'll go inside. But if he's not, then he's going to have an awesome time. So we're going to go out in the rain.
Deal. It sounds like a good risk, a healthy risk to take.
Yeah. Well, you know what I kind of realized actually is we tend to protect our children from discomforts that we as adults now find uncomfortable, but why don't we just let them choose for themselves?
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that's going to happen when it's like too cold outside and we're like, oh, don't go outside on your bare feet. And it's like, if they don't like it, then they're going to let you know, and then you can fix that problem for them.
And they'll let you know immediately.
Totally. Or like if they're getting really wet, like we were at Canadian Tire the other day and Forrest was playing in all of the fountains that they have out in the seasonal section, because it was like, okay, Forrest is going to get into all these nuts and bolts that Johnny's looking at. So let's go over to all the patio furniture. It should be safe for him to just play around there. But then there's just fountains everywhere.
Yeah.
So he's playing in them because he friggin' loves playing in water. And I was like, oh no, you're getting wet. You should stop this. And I was like, he's not uncomfortable.
He's fine.
What am I trying to protect him from? Himself?
You're protecting him from joy.
I'm protecting him from something that I think is going to be uncomfortable later if it was me. But I'm a grown adult now that doesn't handle things as well as I used to when I was a kid.
He was perfectly fine living in soggy clothing for the rest of
it was amazing.
The trip. He was okay.
We had a couple other stops to make after that, and he was soaked.
Yeah, and he just was so happy to be out of the house because we desperately needed to get out that day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was pretty cranky.
Yeah, cranky boy.
But yeah, so moral of that story is I think we need to remember that kids can handle a lot more than us, like comfy little baby adults can handle now.
Sometimes we're bigger babies than the babies.
Totally. Like when you were a kid, do you remember just going outside in the cold for like hours at a time and coming in and your nose is all red and all of your extremities are so cold that they're like tingling when you go inside?
Yes.
But you just had so much fun, you don't even care. And it like hurts when you go into the warm. You're just like, ooh, my hands.
Oh, it tingles. Same with the hot tub. Same with like jumping out of the hot tub into the snow and then coming back, and that same feeling, right?
We don't put ourselves into as much discomfort anymore as adults. I'm realizing like we try and keep things really, really safe and comfy. I don't think we're doing ourselves a service by that. We're certainly not doing Forrest a service.
No. So we just got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's exactly what I thought today.
Isn't that what's her
face?
As
Jillian Michaels would say from her extreme yoga workout video.
How would she say it?
Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
And Carla was
hitting her
banging
fist into her hand. Yeah. I've done that yoga video a lot of times.
Oh, it sounds like yours. Like I've done that a lot of times. Just bang my fist into my hand.
You know what? Actually, that I have not done a lot of times, but I'd like to try it more often.
That might be the secret.
Talking emphatically with my fist in my hand.
Yeah. It feels really good. Mm-hmm. I'm big on hand gestures. It's just like really good emphasis.
Right.
Especially like.
Wow, Johnny, those gestures are
like
really adding a lot to. Oh.
It's like you get to do a little bit of a dance.
You know
with
what?
Your hands.
I think I have a lot of respect for hand gestures, and I think I have more respect for you now.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, that Jillian Michaels yoga DVD, though, by the way.
I don't know how I feel
couldn't
about
handle it for the first. Like, I did it all the time because
we did it together a few times when we started dating.
And at that point, I had been doing it for years, but so I basically could quote all of it, and it was just so that I could get a workout in 45 minutes that was like inside my home when it's pouring rain outside and whatever. But man, Jillian Michaels really got on my nerves. But after a while, she really grew on me, and I just felt like she was like my pal. She was my like really kind of butch friend who just like rallied me to push hard. And
But it's interesting though, because it's like I've always thought of yoga as being like connect with your body and spirit. But she
not laughing at that, laughing at how Jillian Michaels does yoga. It's so not that.
Yeah, no, that's right. She's just like, no, yoga is intense exercise. Be comfortable. Being uncomfortable.
Yeah, totally.
You know what? This is a sidestep, but still on the topic of exercise. So I signed up for a 10K sun run, which unfortunately I didn't think and the dates of it. I actually, this is totally a thing I would do. I signed up for it before I found out the dates.
Right.
And we are actually away. Oh no, too bad.
I guess I can't run.
So the funny thing is today I went to coworkers and I was like, you guys, does anybody want to do the sun run in my place? Like I already have it, like I've already signed up. You just have to like wear the bib. And then like Kat, she's like a really sweet coworker. She's kind of soft spoken, but she's really down for things, and it's like, yeah, I'd love to. And then the funniest thing is she has to wear my bib, and I got a custom.
Oh, what did you call yourself?
I have the runs. And so now she's gonna run around with that bib on her shirt that says I have the runs, and it's totally outside of her character, and it's just like that is the best. That's like satisfies my prank.
Yeah, it's like you played
side.
a joke on her. It's like you planned that.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of pranks, in our prank episode where we talked about that, I have a few updates.
Oh.
I have done a prank since.
Oh, what was it?
On my mom. Did I talk about this last time?
I'm totally drawing a blank. Just like
last week. Last week was nuts.
No, you didn't talk about it at all.
Okay, the April Fool's Day prank.
Drawing a blank once again. Please proceed.
Do you not remember what I did? Did we not talk about this?
I'm sure we did, but I just.
Do you not know what the prank that I did on my
just
mom?
Jog my memory. Just.
Okay. It was in Taipei. It was in the airport.
Oh yes, I remember.
I feel like I said it.
No, you didn't. You didn't tell the story.
Really?
Just
Okay.
don't get hung up. Just move along. Let the flow happen.
I'm so worried about communicating the same thing twice because then people will just hang up the podcast. It's over.
Ka-ching, hang up.
That's what I imagine. At any point, people are listening to this podcast on like the old rotary phones, just like to the wall, and they're like listening to us talk as if they're having a conversation. And as soon as we offend them, or they're just like, that's enough. I'm bored. They just ding. They're hanging up.
Or like I imagine they're listening with like a finger hovering over the stop button, just like hovering.
A big button that says stop.
Yeah, and we if we stutter a little bit too much, they're like, oh,
just say it right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'll tell a story. Well,
first we just want to say we love you very much,
yes.
and thank you for listening.
Wow.
And you can put that finger away for a little while. Just a little while.
Just rest. Just rest. Take this time for yourself. You get
a glass of wine. We have one.
Yeah. Are you going to sleep right now? Are you transiting to work?
Yeah.
Are you
on the can?
Are you on the toilet? Are you cleaning the kitchen? That's what I do. Either way, thank you. Thank you, gracious listener, for listening to our sweet, sweet voices.
Hanging out with us while you are doing your thing.
Your task, which is really important. What you're doing right now is so important.
You got some important shit to do in your life, and you are working it, and don't let anybody tell you anything different.
No, not even us.
You are not useless, as that voice inside of your head sometimes may tell you.
You are not useless.
You're valuable.
You are a person of value. Am I crazy, but am I hearing Forrest cry?
You're crazy.
Oh, shoot. I'm crazy. I knew it. I knew I was crazy. Okay.
The prank.
This is a prank that I forgot to tell last time that I remembered. It was
April Fool's.
No, this is a different prank.
It wasn't on April Fool's?
No. I'll tell that one. But what I was going to bring up was the prank I pulled on your brother. I'd say that is my most my
that was
favorite,
so funny.
Favorite prank that I've ever done. I think so, because it's perfect. It on multiple levels. It like worked. There's like trickery, and they think something like they're just like, how can this happen? And it was so absurd.
Okay, don't build us up anymore. Tell it.
It's just the best prank that I've ever done.
Stop it.
Okay, so Carly's brother Kale. Thanks for listening, Kale.
We love you.
We love you. If you do listen, we're gonna quiz you later. He was laying on our couch sleeping. And he was it was in the morning. We were up before him, like always, with the baby. And he has his headphones in, and he listens to these like 10-hour sleep things on YouTube. And very sneaky.
I think it's like a lucid dream facilitation thing that he sleeps with his headphones in.
Oh, interesting. That sounds cool. And what I like snuck on to his computer, and then YouTube, I searched for videos of just girls farting, just compilations, and there's these weird compilations on YouTube of like hot girls farting. I've used this for a prank, and it's bizarre. People love it, but.
People love a lot of things on YouTube, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, but this was, and I put it on, and we slowly, from across the room, just watched him just slowly and just imagine, just like, you just see these girls posed, and it's like, and they're just letting out these giant, disgusting farts.
It's so gross.
And then Kale's just like slowly waking up, like, what like looks around and he's just like, what happened? And then he brought it up with us. He's just, that was the weirdest thing. And it's that, yeah.
He's like, I went to bed listening to this thing, and I'm not sure, like, if it ended, but somehow I was just all of a sudden watching a video, and he's saying it like so straight faced, just like video of a bunch of girls like farting. They're just ripping.
Bunch of hot girls farting, just ripping these big farts. It's just like,
and he's just looking so befuddled, just like, that was the weirdest.
And it was a little troubling. I can tell that it troubled him a little bit.
So then eventually we finally told him.
Yeah.
And I feel like the reveal was not as satisfying as it could have been.
You know, I'm weird like that. I don't know if this makes me sadistic, but I don't always need a reveal. It makes me feel great joy if I created like a paranormal experience for somebody. Like the thing we did it with Cassie when she opened the door and there's a big like thump because I put my shoes in the door.
Even just a moment of like, what was that?
Yeah, and then that's just, and it would make me so much happier if she wouldn't have told anybody. And if that was just like in her head.
That is so interesting.
Isn't that weird? Maybe it's just like the spirit's possessing me to be like, oh yeah, make us known.
You're a little mischief maker.
Yeah, I am mischievous. So what happened with my mom on April Fool's Day? This was great. I was in the Taipei airport, and I was even in Taiwan. And we had like a little layover between Vancouver and Vietnam, and I had Wi-Fi, and I was like, hey guys, I get my mom every year on April Fool's. Last year was a garage sale. This year is going to be awesome. And so I called my mom. It was a perfect scenario too, because I was we were walking, so I was going in and out of Wi-Fi. And so like I would call, and then I'd start to talk, and then it would cut off again, and then she'd like call again. And so I'd have this like long, I could like draw it out really dramatically. And I called Mom, and I was like, oh Mom, hey, how's it going? Like, I'm sorry I don't have time to talk. My plane's like gonna leave pretty soon, but I left my passport on the airplane, and they cleaned it up and they have it, but they need my like some other proof, like ID, that it's me before they can give it to me. And what they need is a birth certificate or a copy of a birth certificate. And I'm like,
that's a really clever story. Yeah, and like it sounds really legit.
Yeah, and then I was like, I called Carly, and she doesn't have it, and we have no idea where my birth certificate is. And I think it's at home. I think it's like in your records. I'm like, well, we're at Grandma and Grandpa's house right now, and then this is a very linear conversation that I'm depicting, but it was actually very broken up, because it was like, oh, lost connection, then call back. And so this like the drama, the tension was just like rising. Oh my gosh. And then it was to the point where they were like, the keys, they were out halfway out of the door being like, and I was just like, oh, there's one thing I really need from you right now. Like pretending that I'm like doing paperwork. I was like, what time is it for you guys right now? What's the date? And they're like, it's 4 or it's like 2:00 on April 1st. And I was like, and what's the date again? It's April 1st. And it's like, what's the date again? And then I get her to keep on repeating, and then she's just like, oh my gosh.
I cannot believe that she fell for it
again.
Like, because just the day before, like I think like hours before, when you were home, we FaceTimed with her and we reminisced about how on April Fool's the year before, you got her really good.
I got her to
which
go
we
on
talked about a few podcasts ago, and we just talked to her about that. And then like 8 hours later, you get her with this other.
Yeah, so good. Oh, but man. I was the fool because it was 2 p.m. So isn't that the thing for April Fool's?
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be before noon.
Yeah, so that's my April Fool's
right. So you
story.
Actually, it was a bust.
Yeah,
you
it was
busted.
a bust. Yeah, but I still got her. But and then my.
But the thing is about that, I have to say, like that sounds really cruel to me. It's just like
they
you're
laughed so hard. They
you know
really
what,
laughed.
with the right audience, I guess, because it's your family and like that's what they're used to. But that type of thing with other people and like I think with my family just wouldn't go down as well. You're putting somebody through this emotional roller coaster and taking up a bunch of their time and totally derailing their day.
Yeah, well, it was a moment. They were out the door with the keys.
It's funny. It is really funny, and I'm glad that for them that is just funny.
I wonder one day when I'm older, I'll look back and be like, oh, I was what a mean son I was. I wonder if that'll actually happen. Maybe it could. I'm not saying it will, but
I don't know. I don't think that
You don't
in that
think
case
I'm
you
a-
are.
You don't think I'm a mean son?
No, not in that case.
Okay. Because it's all out of good. Because I have memories of my dad running outside around the house, and mom's like, "There's a bear outside. There's a bear chasing dad." And then like we look at, "Oh my gosh, where's the bear?" And then we just see my dad running around and Josie,
It's like
our
this
dog.
adrenaline rush thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it gets you on your toes. You're like, "Oh my gosh."
That is a fun feeling.
It is really fun, and it's like it's almost like a roller coaster where you get that intense fear and then the relief that everything is 100% okay. And then you
that
just
sounds
like
kind of appealing.
the dust settles a little bit. That's why I like. That's what I like out of a really good prank, not a mean prank, but just a prank that's like, gotcha.
Yeah.
Capital G, capital T.
Yeah. You know what, Johnny? I approve. I think I'd like to try that feeling sometime.
I'm gonna get you.
Just saying, as long as it's tasteful and it's not going to make me like fear for your life or something like that's going to have me in hysterics.
What it's got to do is make everybody laugh at the situation, not laugh at the person.
That's a really good point. Yeah, actually.
So
as soon as you're the butt end of the joke, then it doesn't feel good at all.
Yeah, I just love little, subtle, harmless, weird things. That's just like, what? This that's a little bit confusing. It's like, I think that's why I love sleepwalking, because it's like that confusion is so satisfying for me.
Wait a minute, like you love it in the moment?
I love my memories of it, and I love those, because usually, like the other night when I did it, I'm not sure if I talked about it, but when I realized, I'm actually in bed. I'm not in like a weird new way to travel, which is like the laying down in the dark.
And so what was that feeling that you got from that realization?
Like, it's kind of like the feeling of,
it's like you just got duped or something. Yeah. Oh, okay, because I know it's happened to me before where you wake up sleep talking and then the person next to you is like, what was that? And you're trying to make sense of it to to the real life non-dream world now, and you're like, never mind. No, never mind.
No. Yeah. I love that feeling.
That is a funny feeling.
It's one of the best feelings.
But it's a bit of an uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah, but that's why I like it.
Oh, that's really funny.
Just a little bit.
You like to cringe a little bit, don't you?
Slight cringe. Yeah, I love it. It's just, I think
that's why you love Tim and Eric so much, because it's really cringy.
Or Adult Swim.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. I just like things that break us out of our norms, just like break us out of reality. It's like I heard of this group, forget what they're called, but they go around LA. That's kind of like a weird cult, but not really. And they, based on like their belief, they believe that everybody's all like a slave to the norm, I guess. I might be butchering this, but I love the concept. They just believe that everybody, it's like with you on your phone all the time, or everybody is stuck in their loops where they go to work every day and then they go do their job, they come back home, they watch Netflix and repeat, and it's like they're trapped. It's like a prison, which I can relate to, and it's like totally. They really believe that like their spirituality is waking up out of those moments and just realizing that like you can easily slip into another dimension if you want to, and then that's where like you can bend reality to your will, or that's when you can kind of create your own real hero's journey.
Cool. When you realize that you're
and I can relate to that too. Like there's lots of moments when I like you make a choice to do things differently or see things differently, or make a choice to challenge some beliefs or some norms. Anyway, so what this group they do is they kind of do flash mobs, and they want to break people out of their cycles. And so they all do things like they line up, they all like 10 of them all go on the same bus, they all get on separately, wear different clothing, and then they all will just like break into a chant or sing a song in unison, and then go back. And then the people around them are just like, it's
like shocking them out of their, and that's really interesting.
And they're waiting for them to be like, okay, what's the reveal? Where are the cameras? And then it's just nothing happens. Everybody just gets off. And then they're just kind of like, what? Like that. I think
just like question reality.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Cool.
And I love that. I because I think there's a lot of bullshit that there's a lot of bullshit, man, that we just fall into line, and we just, and it's true. Like we just fall into routines. Once again, it's talking about that whole being comfortable thing. We'll opt to be comfortable over
being uncomfortable, and that just ends up being a routine that we fall into that we just don't shake up anymore.
Yeah. And I think that's why things like the flat earth theory is so people get drawn into it, because there is some truth in thinking that the life as we know it is not the like true way of living. Do you know what I mean? And so like when
there's more to this, than this, right?
There's more than just like living your life based on like marketing trends or, you know, just shopping where everybody's telling you to shop and not being connected to the food. And we all have this sense that there's bad stuff going on and like everything's like really weird, but we just like put our heads down and just like keep going with the flow. And so when you there's like these, you believe in a conspiracy, you're just like, yes, I had this instinct all along that something was off.
Yeah.
So this is like,
this must
satisfying.
Be the thing.
Yeah, it's scratching that itch.
Totally. Yeah, no, I really get that, because there's a lot of times that what?
Can you pass the water?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to mime. I'm trying to just
like,
be like,
point
point to the water. Gulp.
No, there are a lot of instances where it feels like, you know, we need to be shaken. We need to be like woken up. Like, you just fall into that routine and you kind of start to lose your vision. Things turn gray a little bit and you forget to like really open your eyes and look around you and look with new eyes, especially with all of this technology that we're using these days. We're just head down looking at our screens. Yeah. We're all guilty of it.
So, completely.
It's just, and I think as opposed to guilting ourselves about it, it's important to just like take time, like really make an intention of putting it away, looking up, especially with like the spring weather hitting right now. It's so beautiful. It smells amazing outside. Even when it's raining, it's actually really quite lovely to just go outside and look around you and appreciate that all the birds are out and that there's buds everywhere and the blossoms like in Vancouver is amazing. And, you know, there's just everything is getting renewed right now. And this is the type of season that helps to get you back into your physical surroundings and just like open your eyes again and look around you and feel something different than just our regular gray world.
Yeah. Feel connected. Feel connected to everything. Well, it's interesting because I feel like we have the ability to be connected to everything. And that's why we're really drawn into our phones, because our phones do connect us to everything, right. You know, in a sense.
It's the easy way.
It is now. It is the easy way. It used to be really hard. But there's a whole level of connection that I feel like anyways I'm missing out on. And it's just like, it's being still. It's like being able to just like just be still and listen, and then let the subtleties creep in. That's why I like partaking occasionally in psychedelics, because it just like it opens up the lines of communication. And it's like you, especially in nature, it's just like you really realize like there's life everywhere. It's not just me. It's like there's so much life all around us.
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
you really notice that connectedness.
Big time. Big time.
I want to go camping.
I want to go camping too.
So excited for camping.
When are we going to do that?
Well, probably next month. I don't know. Let's get on it.
Let's get on it.
So, okay, I want to talk about something that we did since the last podcast that was really fun. And I would recommend this to anybody. We've got a new date scheme.
Oh, yes.
We've got a new way to do a sweet ass date when you don't get out on dates very often.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and say you live in a city like we do.
I think this just to preface, I think this is a thing that people do.
Maybe.
It might be new to us.
Well, okay, here's the thing is I think it's like a thing that you sign up for when you see a flyer and everybody's doing it and you all hop on a bus or something. But I don't think it's really done in like the date form.
No.
It's essentially like a pub crawl, but you know, we would be doing this where we just go to, okay, here's the rules. We go to at least 3 places. At least 3 places, all in like the same neighborhood. At least 2 of them have to be places that we've never been to before. And you just get a drink and or an appy to share.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we're hanging out. We have a drink to share. Like, so we did this and we went to this one pub, East Side neighborhood pub.
East Side Craft.
East Side Craft, that's what it was. Yep. We shared a beer. and like
Just
a
one
plate of
beer.
fries.
Yeah.
And it was trivia night, so it was like crazy bumping in there. And we
It
were
was
there
just
for
bumping.
maybe a half hour because, you know, we've got a babysitter. My mom's over. We don't want to be keeping her for too long. And so
And
we
the
just
trick
want to
is
see as
get
much
the bill,
action.
Get the bill and pay for it immediately.
So we just want to get as much action as we can in one night. So we hit this pub, we get a drink to share, we get the bill at the same time. When we're done, we just head out and we move to the next place.
Great.
And you hop from one place to the next and you end up getting to see a lot of places. And in the span of 2 hours, you feel like you had a really full night.
Yeah, it's awesome. I really love it.
Me too.
And then if you don't want to worry about getting too intoxicated, which to be honest is the lowest thing on the priority list, is
To get
is
intoxicated.
to get into like having a glass or two of a beverage is enjoyable, but past that, it's just like we pay for it way more in the mornings. It's not worth it. So
Totally.
it's the thrill of being able to see a lot of new environments. Which
New
is
environments and try new places and just get that action that we've been craving. Because we can drink at home and we've discovered that that's not where the fun is at necessarily.
No.
Like you said, a glass or two is enjoyable, but once that's not what it's about anymore. It's just about having a good social time.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited about our new date scheme.
Yeah, it's cool. So hopefully we get to do it often.
The next place we went to after Eastside Craft House was a place called Cedar Cottage Neighborhood Pub.
Met up with some friends.
There was
great.
some pool. There was some darts. I didn't play either of those, but I had a good time anyway.
Same with me. And then we went to
Indochina.
which we later found out it was run by gangs, which we had a hunch.
This is a lofty claim. We have no actual proof about this,
but people have told us, wink, wink,
that it is a front of
for bad boys.
Yeah.
Doing bad business.
It was crazy though, because this is like really close to our house. This new place that's opened up, and we've been like, wow, that looks so fancy. Let's check it out sometime.
Sticks out like crazy.
Oh yeah, it's way not like it is not meant to be in this neighborhood. And so we go there with like these really fancy chairs and just major club music pumping,
chairs.
And
fancy floors, fancy tables, not fancy cups though. Just
no,
mason jars.
and I'm pretty sure like everybody there was Chinese.
Yeah.
Everybody. And it was pretty, it wasn't full, but it was pretty well occupied.
And everybody knew each other.
It was weird. Like some people in the private karaoke room are going between that room and then like sitting on a table at some other girl's
directly
thing.
on a table.
Just on the table.
It's
And
wild.
everybody seemed to know each other. There was a shady feel to it
Yeah,
all. And then
some
later
drama
we found
going
out,
on.
somebody said, yeah, no, we heard that whole like company chain is a front for a gang. And we're just like,
This is the kind of stuff, these are the kind of risks we have to take when we're doing this new crazy pub crawl of ours. We got to give it a
2
name.
out of 3 ain't bad, you know?
And I would say 3 out of 3 because we're in for new experiences.
Exactly.
You
And
know,
we got it.
It's like Cambodia. Cambodia is one of the most memorable countries we visited on our 5-country tour. Wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but it was like went down in the memory banks. It's
I enjoyed a
real
lot of
experience.
it, but we struggled in a lot of it as well.
Yeah, it's a hard country to visit. It's very hard.
Well, yeah, that's a whole another can of worms.
That's
but
a whole big
it's
can of worms.
Very
dirty
similar.
worms.
It's a good analogy though, that you have to go through a lot of the muck in order to have cool experiences.
Yeah,
Which is
and I
what we're
think
out for with
babies
this.
understand that, and that's why, to bring it back, that's why babies don't. They're okay with being uncomfortable
I
sometimes.
can't believe how okay Forrest is with being uncomfortable a lot of the times.
Not all babies, though. We should say. There are some babies that are like, oh.
I haven't met all the babies. I don't know.
I've met
You've met almost all the babies.
almost all the
Okay.
babies.
Yeah, you've got way more contact than I do.
I'm pretty sure that I've met all the babies. I could be.
I wouldn't argue on that
I'm like
because I won't be able to prove you wrong.
1 or 2, maybe, like just a few I haven't met, but I'm a pretty big time baby meter. I just meet babies.
That's impressive.
It's on my LinkedIn. You
Wow.
should endorse me.
Yeah, no, I'll totally endorse you
I'm a
for
baby meter.
being knowing a lot of babies.
Yeah, and I have to, because it's so many all the time. It's the assembly line. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you?
Kissing babies, what I do.
babies. Yeah, baby meter.
What is this?
That's
Are
what you
they
do.
cats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Babies are cats. Same thing.
Cats can be babies. Actually, everything can be a baby.
Oh, man. I feel like we need to give a formal apology to our neighbors downstairs. Forrest's new thing is like doing this stomp dance.
It's bad.
Like, and we did not teach him this.
It's Cassie.
Just like we did not teach him the finger in the air. No, I don't think she actually did. I think she was doing it because he was doing it.
Oh, she encouraged it though.
Yeah, but now now that he's really nailed down the stomp, it's like he does the whole pivot thing where one foot's on the ground and the other's kind of stomping with his finger in the air, and he's kind of turning in a circle. And he stomps really hard.
Really loud, yeah.
He's just a little baby, but he is stomping real good. And every time he gets excited, like especially when you came home today, the neighbors must have just been like, well, it sounds like Johnny just got home because Forrest is doing his stomp dance again.
And he's like trying to do it loud.
Yeah,
he's
totally.
like,
which is like, how do you stop a baby from doing that? Because you're like, you are having a great time right now. I'm not going to stop you and try and like somehow explain to you, like, there's people downstairs and it's annoying to hear stomping above your head all the time. Like, he doesn't get it.
He'd probably be like, I love stomping. I would love to hear stomping above me. That sounds great. It sounds fun. It would make me want to stomp.
Right, because it's rhythmic. Yeah. And any kind of rhythm. He's just like, oh, yeah.
Oh, he'd point up way more, actually. He'd be like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, so new dancing for him.
And stomping does feel good. That's a dance, you know? Stomp. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Right. That's just what you do.
There's a reason why when you're at sports games, they get you to stomp your feet in the bleachers. It feels dang good.
Yeah. Honey, you've got mud on your face.
Big disgrace. Kicking that team all over the place.
Stomp, stomp, clap. Stomp, stomp, clap.
Rock you.
Clap, stomp, stomp,
right,
clap.
It's the stomp.
That's
exactly what I was referring to. That is exactly. And it gets you riled the F up.
Yeah, and of course it does for our baby boy Forrest, and it's in our nature as humans. Stomping.
Oh my gosh,
we need to stomp more.
I think it's a very tribal thing.
Yeah, could you imagine if
I think it's a grounding thing. It like really grounds you with the earth, and it really like kind of aggressive kind of way.
I would love to be a part of a culture where stomping was more, just like so much more common. Like you're on the street and you're just like, hey, stomp on the ground, and then
just like being physical in your body in general would be amazing. What was that podcast I listened to recently where they were talking about being in our bodies is actually like something that we don't do nearly as much anymore. We like emotions. What we really have come to believe is that they exist in our head, but emotions are actually felt in our bodies. Like literally, scientifically, our emotions are throughout our bodies. And so, but yet we will disembody ourselves in order to avoid discomfort. As far as emotions go. So like things that we associate with bad emotions, we'll just like disembody. And so that's why I think when we're really not very physical anymore, when we don't just let our bodies feel the music or like feel the rain or stomp our feet when we're excited or things like that, that's like we've really become quite disembodied. So I really admire cultures that still have a lot of embodiment. And like in this podcast that I was listening to, it was the Liturgist podcast. And I think it was called The Mind and Body Connection. And they had on the podcast this man who he's Black and he's a part of like gospel churches. And the way that they worship is like full body. Like they just get so into it. And I think you've probably seen something like that. Most people have seen
being
gospel
raised
churches.
Pentecostal, very much so.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking more so about gospel churches represented in
movies and TV shows.
Yeah. And like you can see, but it is pretty well represented in the way that like they're so physical, so embodied. Even just like in Sister Act, think about how much like life and body she brought to that monastery with those nuns. Oh yeah. It was like they'd never moved their bodies before. You know what I mean? And that's something that I admire that in other cultures that are very physical.
Maybe that's why
we're lacking that a lot.
Maybe that's why I love doing my hand gestures a lot.
Maybe that's why. Yeah, that's like, it's your one way to still get that mind-body connection out there.
Feels good. Just like
I actually never noticed that you use your hands a lot. I feel like
really,
yeah.
I do it with my friend Kane a lot.
Oh yeah, I have seen that.
And I do it when I get silly. It just comes out of my fingers.
What do I end up doing?
I miss drumming for that reason actually, because I used to really let a lot of things out when I was drumming. and I used to be very expressive. That's why I think.
Yeah, you need to get drumming again. I can't believe that that's something that was such a big part of your life and is not anymore.
I know.
Let's fix that. Let's do like a jam night on, pretty soon here, Forrest is going to be babysittable like weekly.
Or we give him those big headphones and he can just be in the room. He'd probably love that.
That's true.
He'd probably just be like, that would be his happy place if we give him these.
You know what? We should go to a music store. We'll get Forrest. We'll get him fitted for some of those like baby headphone things, and we'll talk to them about how many decibels it tones down, because it might still be too loud for him to be right in front of a drum set.
Probably not. I think they're designed to be pretty good.
Check this kid out right now.
I don't know. Oh, he's right at the edge.
How did he do that? His head is like hanging off the bed.
Oh, that scares me. This one, like, no, that'd be pretty. That'd be
very hard for him to fall off the bed like that. Well, okay, so
what else? What do you got for us, Carly? What do you got in that notebook? Carly's been writing notes.
I've been writing notes today because there's some things that I want. Oh, you're impressed with me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's like my one desire in life, is just to impress you.
That's your one desire.
Oh my gosh,
you
speaking of which, okay, I actually took a video today of how disaster the house was.
Oh, good.
Before it was about 5:30 that I took this video, and I'm going to show it to you because by the time you got home, the house looked very different.
The house looks great. I'm looking at it right now. It looks like this is an orderly home.
Yeah,
I can rest my eyes.
Dang right.
Let me tell you.
Dang right, you can rest your eyes. I worked hard for that. Check this out.
She worked. What? What?
It's just toys everywhere. And like, look at the kitchen, because I made muffins and soup today. It was just, and Forrest is so busy. Bad. His toys just get everywhere so quickly.
Not the worst it's ever been.
Oh, this is bad.
Wow.
Isn't that dramatic?
Man. This is a messy house.
Disaster.
Disaster, Forrest. What do you have to say for yourself? Okay, part of it was me.
Yeah. So now you know, an hour later, the house looked like this.
You funny kid.
Wow. That is a messy house. I'm very impressed with...
Like, that was, considering how messy our house gets, that was pretty extreme, was it not?
That was extreme. That was very extreme. That was comical. That looked like it was in a movie, and there was somebody tasked at how can we make this look like a messy house?
Totally.
It looked like, because it didn't look dirty. It just looked like things were everywhere.
And that was like, okay, the toys everywhere was all Forrest. I did not help him.
Oh my gosh.
He's pretty amazing at finding all of the toys and bringing them places, and then forgetting that he was playing with this one toy and dropping it on the floor and then picking up something else. And
he shuffles the house up.
Yeah, he really does.
So
that's
our life.
But also, so I've been doing this new thing lately that I've been talking about doing for a long time. I'm not using shampoo and conditioner anymore.
What?
Yeah.
Is that gross?
I'm doing the natural thing of, natural is kind of a subjective
Quote, unquote,
term.
Everything is natural. Is it?
I don't know.
How do you define natural?
That's a really philosophical question that I don't really feel equipped to discuss.
Into?
No, but what I've been doing is using a baking soda wash. So you just do baking soda with like 3 parts water. You mix it up and you put it in your hair and let it sit for like a minute, and then you wash it out, and then you rinse it with a vinegar rinse, which is just vinegar with 3 parts, like 1 part vinegar, 3 parts water.
Oh.
And so many people have told me about this, and I'm like, you know what? I get greasy hair. Like, this is a bad idea. I don't think it's going to work for me. Plus, also, who are the people doing this? Like, do they actually care what their hair looks like? And so I was very skeptical. But man, my hair is not getting greasy at all. Like, I'm able to go more like 3 days now without washing my hair. And my hair has so much more.
Without washing, as in like vinegar and baking soda.
Exactly.
Does it like become a volcano? Does it like, because it's...
Yeah, you would think, right?
Yeah.
No, but you don't put the baking soda.
Separate.
Yeah, you don't put the baking soda in with the vinegar.
Oh, okay.
They're separate from each other. And actually, you do rinse the baking soda first, because can you imagine if you put the vinegar into your hair while
what
the
would
baking?
Happen?
You'd become a volcano head.
Volcano head. Wow.
I don't know.
Imagine if you just like totally,
I'm a little bit nervous of what would happen if
probably nothing realistically.
you probably would feel this funny like little sizzle on your head, same as
Maybe.
like the rock pops in your mouth.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You should
Rock
try it.
pops?
For
Is that
science. Pop rocks.
Pop rocks, yeah.
Can I feel?
Yes. And you know what? So today,
Wow, no conditioner.
no conditioner, no.
Sure.
No
feels
shampoo.
Good. Feels good to
And
me.
like, man, the body is amazing. I mean, I got a new haircut too, so it's hard to.
It's hard to tell.
No, but it's not hard to
Right.
tell because I've had a short haircut like this before, and it was not. I didn't have this much body and this much volume.
What?
It's easy to do stuff with it now. Like I can kind of shape it more and make it do what I want it to. You guys, you need to switch to
Wow.
baking soda shampoo.
Even me, should I?
Yeah.
I'm convinced. You know, I got a story about that. When we came back from our long trip and we were staying at Cassie, my sister-in-law.
Important detail.
Important detail. When we were staying at her place on Main and 21st.
Another important
detail. You were doing something. I was just by myself. No. This was okay.
Are we talking important details here? Like,
I was in town for no. I had a shower and
at Cassie's house?
yeah. Oh no, I didn't have a shower. Oh my gosh, Johnny.
This story is
Didn't I-
going so well.
Okay, I was just brushing my teeth.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I didn't bring my floss and there wasn't any floss. And I was like, oh, I'll just use mouthwash. And then I see this mouthwash and I put it in my mouth and it's vinegar. It's just straight. And then, cause that's what
no.
Cassie does. But she keeps the vinegar in like a mouthwash bottle. It was bad.
Oh,
It
no.
was so bad. Have you ever just
Is
got
that
a
what
mouthful
she uses
of
for
vinegar?
her hair, she said?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't know that.
No.
I thought she
so
got you on it. That's what I thought.
maybe she told me about it before, but I've heard about it from numerous sources, so I might have just like convinced myself that
Right.
it was from some internet thing rather than my own
Remember
sister.
when we put bananas and avocados in
Oh
your hair?
my gosh,
So bad.
she's got bananas in her
You
hair.
got bananas in her hair.
You're singing to me. It was great.
Yeah.
But the
The stupidest thing
the
is
paste was not great.
well, this is why. For some reason, we bought those tiny bananas. Why?
What were we thinking?
We bought like the expensive little bananas.
I think they weren't expensive at the time. I think they were like on a
Maybe.
sale, and so
But
I was
that's
like,
why,
sweet.
because they don't mush as good as big bananas
They
do.
definitely do not. They're much denser and
So if you see some banana and you're like, that needs to go in my hair, don't do it. It's not worth it.
well, we can't really vouch for that because we can only vouch for the small bananas.
Okay, let me rephrase. If you see some small bananas kicking around and in your mind you're like, I don't know why, but I got to put those in my hair. Bad idea. Don't do it.
Rethink it.
Rethink it. It's kind of like
Think it over.
yeah, but you're like, that would feel good. It might, but just don't.
Speaking of like using natural things for hygiene though, I've been meaning for ages to make like a brown sugar scrub to just rub all over my body. Doesn't that sound great?
No.
Why wouldn't you want to rub sugar all over your body?
Sounds
Just like
terrible.
scrub it really, really hard.
I'd rather do sand. I'd rather like lay in the sand.
No way. Well, you know
Sugar,
what?
It sounds like it gets sticky and it's like, oh.
No, but you rinse it off. You're doing it in the shower.
Yeah.
It would feel real good. And guess what? It would
I'm
smell
against it.
good.
I'm against that.
Well,
I am strongly on the side of never doing that.
you know what? I'm going to go
I need
against
you
your
to
wishes
pick-
here, and I'm going
So
to...
you're not gonna choose we're picking sides here is what we're doing.
I'm picking the sugar side.
I'm anti-sugar on my body. Sticky, bad.
This
You
is
know what?
really
Let me want to
uncomfortable
know what
for
you
me.
think. If you are for or against sugar bodies, why don't you just send us a little tweet or
For or against sugar, just say
For or against sugar
hashtag
bodies.
for sugar or hashtag
sugar bodies.
against sugar.
sugar bodies, because like sugar
Right,
is so
sugar bodies. You're right.
It's like, what kind of, or
Add
should
the
we
body on
specify
there.
brown sugar bodies? That's that just means
I
so
think
many
sugar
things.
bodies is good.
Sugar bodies, okay, then yeah.
Do you think sugar bodies is good?
No,
Dang it! I was trying to trick you,
do I think sugar body? Absolutely not.
man.
Hashtag anti-sugar bodies.
Taking away our disagreement here for a moment, I just want to ponder about whether you would actually get the sugar rush from having sugar on your epidermis.
I don't know. I just don't want to know. I'm just not.
You're
at
so
all-
anti-sugar.
I'm
You're so anti-sugar.
Anti-sugar.
You don't even want a sugar.
I don't
scrub.
even. I'm not even curious. I'm just like, ugh.
Keep that sugar
Keep
away
that
from
sugar
me.
off my body. Sticky. Yuck.
this has gone too far, this ketogenic thing. You're just like,
well, it's not anymore. I had a muffin today.
hoo-hoo.
It was a great muffin.
I feel bad that I enticed you. I feel like
You offered me more than once a muffin. You did today.
I did not.
You did too.
Not more than once. You love to take my
I think you might have done it 3 or 4 times. In
what?
fact.
I'm not even going to talk about this.
In fact, we got
You're just
home
trying to get
and
a
you were
rise
like,
out of
you
me.
want a muffin? You want a muffin? You want a muffin? And I had to be like, no. You just don't remember.
Oh my gosh, what world do you exist in? Your head just goes into this like.
I don't know. Just.
But I'm glad you enjoyed
just
the
making
muffins.
some goofs.
Mango
some
muffins,
spoofs.
you guys.
Mango
So-
muffins. Let's do it. It's a thing.
I'm going to say right now, 1 out of 5 listeners also purchased a box of mangoes as we did in this past week.
1 out of 5.
I'm going to say because we just had my cousin over yesterday. He bought a box of mangoes because they're on sale right now. Wow. It's a thing. Mango season.
Wait a second. How many people were over last night?
There was 7 people here in total, not including Forrest.
Wow, that's like 1 out of 3.5.
So, yeah. Wow. So what I'm saying is 1 out of 5 listeners will have bought a box of mangoes in the past, like 5 days.
1 out of 5
week,
listeners.
let's say a week, yeah. And,
that-
they're in
and
season, they're delicious. And if you're like, oh crap, what have I done? I have a box of mangoes and I don't know how to eat all of these at once. Mango muffins, y'all.
It sounds good too when you say it. Mango muffins.
Mango muffins.
You wouldn't think that mango muffins is a thing until you do a little bit of a Google search and you do your own research by yourself. You search in the search bar.
No.
Are mango muffins safe? And you will, of course, it'll say yes, and they are also delicious. Unless you have a gluten intolerance, then you might want to go for some gluten alternatives. Maybe some what are some gluten alternatives? Rice flour.
Yeah.
Rice flour.
Coconut flour.
Coconut flour.
I thought you were going to say for people to go and Google search mango muffins, but no. You don't have to do that because I'm going to put my mango muffin recipe, which is actually Susie's mango bread recipe, on our website with this podcast. You can get the recipe right there. Bam, now you know what to do with that box of mangoes you bought, which I know you did.
You did. 1/5 of you listeners.
Yeah. And if you didn't, you know what? Hit it up because pretty sure Save On, where did we get ours?
If you're from
Safeway,
the Vancouver, Canada region.
You know what? I bet you if you live in California, mangoes are cheap right now. Betcha.
I bet you if you're in Guatemala, you just go right to that mango tree, pick it up, eat it fresh. Probably much better mangoes than we get over here. And you probably must think, why would I put mangoes in a muffin? They're the best thing on its own. Actually,
that is really true.
I had some amazing mangoes in Vietnam.
Really?
It just reminded me of like mangoes, like because you have them here and they're like
mangoes.
Well, when you have mangoes here, it's like mangoes. They're like mangoes, but when you have them there, it's like mangoes.
What is the difference?
There's a big difference. Mangoes.
The way it hits you, is it like a punch in the mouth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, mangoes. It's kind of like, you got to think of it of how Forrest says words. Like,
oh yeah.
Like ma means turn on the music, and ma means like change the song.
Right. Yeah. And like water is yeah, but lights are yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then willow is yeah.
Yeah.
He's
got a dialect, you got to spend some time with him to really understand.
You got to learn it. We're becoming, I always remember, whenever I see parents interpret for their children, I was like, how do you know what they're saying? Because it's like, garble, garble. Oh, she thinks that you're really nice and she wants you to hang out with her. It's like, what? But now we get it.
Totally.
It's like, I'm like, okay, here's the newspaper. How did you know we had a newspaper?
Yeah. Well, and now even Forrest, like, you get home and first thing Forrest does is he looks at you and goes,
oh yeah.
And it's like, Johnny, he wants you to beatbox for him. He's been trying to beatbox lately. That's his thing.
Yeah, he's and
then he starts stomping. It was funny because he did that, and before you even start to beatbox and lay a beat down for him, he starts to stomp and put his finger in the air and do a spin around.
He's ready.
He's
for
like,
it.
all right, I'm gonna do my thing, Dad. You do your thing. I'm gonna trust you're gonna hit this up and give me a beat. I'm gonna get going. Let's do this.
Oh, I love it. I love it that his finger in the air now means he loves the song. Because when I know that, because today I played Beck Guero for him for the first time, and immediately he put his finger in the air. And I was like,
I feel like it doesn't just mean that he likes a song; it means he's enjoying himself.
Yeah,
because sometimes he does it when there's no music on.
That's true.
He's just like, yes.
Man, there must be music in his head. There must be.
in his body. I feel like he feels it throughout his whole body. That is a baby who's feeling the whole mind-body connection for sure.
Oh, yes. I love that.
I want to be more like my baby.
I want to be more like my baby too. No more responsibility. Don't have to worry about work.
Or anybody else's babies.
Yeah, all you have to worry about is just like, oh, I got a poopy, or like I'm hungry, or I'm tired.
Oh my gosh, speaking of being hungry, we now have like one of those picky toddlers.
Oh,
It was like, okay, he's always loved eating food. He's
Just eats
great at
everything.
eating food. He eats everything. But like recently he's been getting more and more picky. And today I made his favorite thing. I made friggin' homemade chicken soup.
oh, this is
And
favorite.
he wakes up, and plus I made muffins, which he also loves. So he
Loves
wakes up,
muffins.
he's super hangry. He sees the muffins, he starts freaking out. They're fresh out of the oven. So I'm like, they're too hot. You're
Even
gonna hurt
I
yourself.
ate a muffin, and I am not eating.
Okay, but
muffins.
listen, we haven't gotten there yet. So
Okay.
so he sees the muffins are too hot, and he's freaking out because he wants the muffin right now. So I'm blowing on little pieces at a time so I can just shove them in his mouth. He only eats like maybe 3 bites of it before suddenly he decides like he doesn't want that anymore. But he's
What?
clearly super hungry, like hangry. And so I'm just like, okay, my little nugget, I'm going to find you something to eat. And so, then I scoop out the soup, but that's too hot. So I'm blowing on it, and he's freaking out, just like, Ma, give me the soup. He's like reaching for it and trying to grab it from me. And I'm just like blowing on it, like, please, I'm trying to go as fast as I can. And finally I go to give him the soup. He freaking spits it out.
What?
He spits out this beautiful chicken soup that I made.
It's
like
great chicken
not
soup,
like
by the way.
everywhere. He like kind of like absorbs the fluid, and then just like bleh, all the like chicken and carrot that was in his mouth just comes out,
Makes a mess.
falls into his bib. And I'm just like, what do I do now? The worst thing is when your kid is clearly so hungry and this is the food that they want, but they will not eat it. And I'm trying to feed him. He'll take the spoon out of my hand so that he can like bash it around on his plate and like shove it into the bread that he was also supposed to be eating, and just be like, wow, look at this crazy world of non-food things that I'm going to play with now. And I'm like, dude, did you just forget that you were so starving that you're freaking out about 3 seconds ago?
Yeah, that's outrageous.
This is the frustrating parent life. You're like supposed to
We
keep
thought
your
we-
kid fed and slept, and they don't want to do either, but they need those things so bad right now.
You know, it's funny. I can relate to that. Every time I stay up too late, it's like, I know I need to be sleeping, but I just need to watch one more YouTube video.
You're just a big
And I'm like,
baby.
oh. And with food too, but it's opposite. It's eating too much.
Right.
It's like I'm full and I'm gonna feel bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I would eat some more.
Oh my gosh, I
Ice
totally
cream,
relate to that.
You know, we're just the same.
You know, the encouraging thing that I keep reminding myself is that I read from somebody on this mom group that I'm a part of on Facebook that her physician said to her that as long as a toddler has a balanced diet in a week, then they're good. So if one
She
day
a
all your
doctor?
kid,
Is she a pediatrician?
it was a pediatrician, yeah. So if your kid eats only friggin' goldfish one day, but then like actually eats his broccoli and soup the next day and eats like pigs out, or maybe even a few days later, you're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah. The good thing is today, you know what I discovered is that Forrest is so hangry and getting just, you never know what he wants. He's sitting there and he's like throwing a fit, and you're like, do you want more? Do you want out of your high chair? Are you done? And he's just not letting you know. And so finally I'm like, he's going, buh, buh. And I'm like, do you want boob? And he's like, buh. I'm like, you want a nurse? And he's like, no. And so I just like nursed him right there. And I'm like, so you're telling me right now that you didn't want any of this beautiful food that I prepared for you. You just want a nurse? And then he also wanted broccoli. So boob and broccoli, that's what it was for dinner.
Wow. Boob and broccoli. It's very healthy, nourishing dinner.
That's pretty good for you, actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
actually,
hey, my
breast
kid's
milk-
eating his broccoli. That is,
And he's eating his boob.
that is pretty dang
So,
fine.
yeah. He's eating his greens and his whites.
Greens and whites. What's that?
Unplug that. If you unplug that, it'll go away.
Unplug what?
The monitor.
But it went away anyway. So
Okay. Well, that might have been a message. That might have been like
message
alien
from the universe.
Yeah, or it signals some sort of weird signal.
Right. Sometimes I think maybe, when those signal things happen, they're just checking in, on their,
They?
the aliens. They're
Oh,
checking in
right.
on their scientific study project, their research project.
Which would be us.
Yeah, no, they're just checking in. It's not malicious,
No,
They're
they're
just
just
keeping tabs. I
Yeah.
wonder what they would think about me, like what they would be noticing about me that's different from other human subjects they're studying.
They'd be like, wow, her hair is great. What is she doing different? And then
Yeah.
you can be like, baking soda, vinegar. That's what. Maybe no.
There's just so many things that they could be thinking about humans. Like, would they be keeping tabs on us just to make sure that we're not becoming too aware of them? I think that'd be pretty boring, actually.
Yeah, that'd be exciting for
What?
them to be like, oh, they're aware of us.
Yeah.
Cool. They're way off.
Yeah.
Way off. Not even
Good
close.
guess. Good guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Aliens are, they're probably out there.
I just don't. I like to think about it, but I don't like. There's times when I watch a documentary and I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's covering it up. There's aliens for sure. But then I'm like, what?
You get skeptical all over again, right?
Yeah, and then I'm like, I kind of hope there are. But then I just don't know enough
I really,
to form an opinion. It's just like,
yeah.
I feel like anybody I know that has an opinion, they don't know enough. They've probably just watched a few documentaries that like you can make a documentary about anything convincing.
I just like to feel like there's something else out there because
Sure.
we're just tiny little specks in the universe, and I think we're still really limited in what we know and understand.
Yeah.
We only understand 3 dimensions. I mean, come on. So, right? 3D? 4D? I don't know. See, this is how little I know.
Yeah.
I really like to
a little
think
speck.
that there's more to existence than what we understand.
Totally. And it's like, I feel like people confuse knowing with feeling. Like, I just feel that it's real. I feel that aliens are real, instead of like, I know that aliens are real. But maybe.
But there's a lot of things that we're
some
not going
people
to be able
have
to ever know.
Yeah, some people have had genuine alien experiences. But you know what's interesting is in New Mexico in 2000 something, early 2000s, there's a documentary on Netflix. But who knows documentaries, right? No, but it's on DMT, which is a dimethyltryptamine. It's the most potent psychedelic on the planet. It's in a lot of it's very common.
Isn't it naturally occurring when we dream as well?
Yeah. Our brains produce it, they believe, through the pineal gland, which is like our third eye. And
Cool.
our brains make it when we dream and when we die. So it's like near-death experiences. And they, for the first time ever, they did trials. They got approved for trials, like to do like some studies on DMT. So they basically get some control groups and they safely inject DMT into their system. And it is one of the safest. It's the most potent and the most safe psychedelic you can do.
Cool.
Meaning it's like only like it lasts like 20 minutes, but it's like an intense trip and you're like taken to a different world and you meet all these different beings. But the accounts that they gave were very similar to alien abduction stories.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting? Just like
Yeah.
they get probed, and like all these things, and they get studied. It's like they all of a sudden pop into like a different world, and then these people are like, oh, you're here. Let's learn about you.
Cool.
Yeah, it's neat. I like it. I like that idea. I just love it. And I felt very strongly that there's more, and just beneath the surface there is just more. And I believe that like we pick up on these things, and that's why like a lot of the religions and spiritualities are based on that kind of like listening to those frequencies. And then like, yeah, people create dogma around it. But I just have a very open idea, and I think it's great to celebrate it. And I've grown to really appreciate Christianity and appreciate different religions.
Because I think it's just been proven over thousands and thousands of years that people will continue going back to some kind of mystical, spiritual belief.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, where does that come from?
Jod,
Jod.
as they say.
J-O-D.
Jod.
That's right.
No, G-O-D, because like Job.
Right.
Jode.
Jode?
Is that how you pronounce God? Jode? Because like God, Job is Gob. in the Bible?
No, it's J-O-B. Job is spelled J-O-B.
Oh, you're right.
Job is spelled job.
Gob.
Yeah, that's why you were confusing
But
me.
G-O-B, how would you pronounce that?
It would be gob. There'd be no Job. But you know what? You like to muddle up letters and stuff,
This was
so
totally
I'll
muddled.
follow.
This was totally muddled.
It was pretty muddled, yeah.
Yeah.
Muddled drink like a mojito. It was
It was like a muddled cucumber.
dirty mojito.
My brain is
Dirty
a muddled,
cucumber
dirty
mojito.
muddled cucumber. And just like, Job? Jod? Is it supposed to be pronounced Jode all this whole time?
So do we have a date plan for this week?
No.
Oh, right, because you're so busy this week.
I'm a busy busy
boy.
bee.
Too busy for me.
Buzzing around, just buzzy, collecting pollen.
And that's
Bringing
okay.
it home.
Hey, well, don't forget, on the topic of what we were talking about earlier with natural hygiene products, I made that natural deodorant that you are also welcome to use. By the way,
Well, la-di-da.
last podcast we talked about me being the smellier of the two of us, which is true. And
Only
natural,
because I want to set the record straight. Only because I don't smell.
You don't smell very
Like,
much.
I don't wear deodorant. I don't really
you can go
smell.
days without smelling.
So it's not
without
that
deodorant.
Carly is really smelly. It's that I am not smelly.
Thank you so much for
Just to clarify,
clarifying that, honey.
you're very average.
Thank you.
Might even be below average.
Well, thank you very much. But as far as like my experience with deodorants and stuff throughout my lifetime, man, there are so many deodorants out there that you put on and then like later in the day you smell like the deodorant and and it's just gross. Like
Yuck.
it does not. It's like now you smell like BO, but like the deodorant that you were wearing has turned and it's not a good smell. And so I would try natural deodorants and none of those worked for me at all. And some of them would like give me rashes and stuff. And I now have this homemade deodorant that I make that is awesome and works really well. And it's just coconut oil, arrowroot powder, baking soda, and a little bit of whatever essential oil you want.
Do you have to get the ratio right?
You got to get the ratio right. Yeah. And I can
I
post
heard
it on
people get rashes. from
You know
that
what?
stuff.
Okay, so I was getting a rash from it too. So, but that just means that you can't handle as much baking soda. So you just take 2 tablespoons of the baking soda out and you add 2 tablespoons of the arrowroot powder and bam, or less than that. For me, I only do the 1 tablespoon less baking soda.
Wow. And we will put this on our website.
I will.
CarlyandJohnny.com.
And seriously, you know what? If you are a smelly gal like me or a smelly person and you don't want to use, those aluminum filled deodorants that just
and you want to
actually
save
don't
the
work very well.
plastic containers too.
Absolutely. Yep. Then I'll post it. Don't worry. I'll post the recipe for you.
CarlyandJohnny.com. Visit our website.
That's where you'll find it.
That's where you'll find it.
Shampoo and conditioner,
Carly and
baking
Johnny
soda, vinegar. Natural
com.
products, dude. It actually just feels nice to use. And especially, I will say especially because I've got forest around, I'm very, I am cognizant of all of the cleaners and chemically stuff we have around. I'm only cleaning with vinegar these days, which is
Wow.
a natural antibacterial.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Clean your windows with vinegar and
yeah,
water.
it's like a
What's the
vinegar and
ratio?
water
What
solution.
is the ratio?
Half and half.
Half and half.
Well,
1 to 1.
Half and half. Yeah, half and half for things like kitchen and stuff. But if you're going to clean the bathroom, you need to have a bit of stronger
Yeah,
of
you
a
need it
vinegar
to be.
solution.
It needs to have like a very.
Yes.
What about your hair? What's the ratio there?
For baking soda, it's 1 parts baking soda to 3 or 4 parts water, depending on what you feel. I do
all
3.
Depending on how you feel, you're like, I'm feeling like 3 today.
Well, for some
Is it
people,
like-
maybe the baking soda solution needs to be not as strong because maybe they'll be sensitive.
Sensitive how?
Like maybe it will sting or something. I don't know.
Huh.
It hasn't done anything for me. So
You should just keep doing more and more and more.
yeah,
until
just like
something happens.
I'm just
and
going to
then-
rub the baking soda powder into my hair at a certain point.
And then it's like, oh, you'll notice like this is why we need to have a ratio
yeah.
because it gets bad.
I don't know. Beats me.
Where does baking soda come from?
I don't know. I was wondering that myself. I feel like it's some kind of
Is it like a
it's a
rock?
mineral. Yeah.
They just like you go and you're like,
You do a what's the like when you've got a pummel and mortise or whatever.
pummel?
No, what is it like when you've got like the bowl and you've got the stone thing and you
Handle,
muddle.
and you just
You
like,
muddle and you just like you just
yeah, crunch.
exactly.
crunch.
Yeah, what's that called?
Yeah, mortise.
Mortise, right?
Is
Mortise
that
and
a
pestle.
Mortise and pestle.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, and you can make all sorts of things with that. You can grind up some spices.
You just grind up your
toast,
own.
if you want to toast up some spices and then grind it up there. That's a great.
That's
a
very
great
true.
way to
That
get
is
some
actually
fresh spices.
That's legit. But also, if you want to make your own baking soda, you just find the right rocks and then you just mash that up with your mortar and pestle and
mortise. Did I say mortise?
No, I think it is mortise. I don't know.
Mortar.
Mortise sounds right.
Mortise sounds like a funny word.
We're so educated.
Mortise.
Man, it feels good.
Mortise sounds like a word that I would make up. Mortise.
Mortise?
Yeah, mortise. What was the...
Definitely does sound
like
a word
What's that thing with
up.
Connor? What was that word he kept on saying? I forget. But
he was, though. I can't remember
what's
what
the
it was.
word. Words are funny. Words are so crazy.
Let's laugh about words.
Oh,
words.
Well,
that's all for tonight.
We've said a lot of words. How many words do you think we've said tonight?
We've said quite a lot of words, but we
Probably
haven't said
close to 100.
We haven't said but.
But
with
I'm pretty
two T's.
Sure. Oof.
Because I just wanted to. That's the last thing I wanted to talk about is this tough call that we had to
Good
make.
segue.
Thank
you. I want to say that was you. You're ready. You were like.
I don't know. It just came to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't like waiting for some in.
Really? You were just like.
It's my radio years, they're coming back to haunt me.
But B-U-T-T. I was just like, but? And I was just like, but what? But then you meant
what?
but as in bum.
Okay, as in our baby's bum, because we have this video of Forrest that Johnny caught that was so hysterical.
It's outrageous.
And
it is, it's one of those videos that's makes everybody laugh.
Everybody just cry laughing when you show it to them. So Johnny's filming him and Forrest he's at the camera and he's chewing on his water thing and Johnny's like, "What are you doing, bud?" And then he walks over to his little baby-sized piano and Johnny goes, "You gonna play the piano?" And he goes to try and play it, but he kind of stumbles on something and he ends
really
up
slowly. It's a very slow reveal.
He falls chin first onto the piano and it goes dong, and then he falls deeper and his shirt pulls up over his bum and you realize he's not wearing a diaper.
It's just this naked bum.
This naked bum just goes up in the air slow.
And then he's stuck in this pose where his chin's on the piano, his butt's sticking up in the air, and he's like, oh.
And his legs are straight and kind of with pointed toes. He just looks like ballerina pointed toes or something.
It's so funny.
It's so funny, and it's not shareable.
It's not. You know what?
It's not. We thought about it and we were like, everybody we showed it to is that would go viral. It would
be a
fast.
meme because it would be you could do a caption just me trying me totally failing at this, or my it's it's a relatable feeling because you watch him just totally fail. It's just him trying to play piano, but it's out of your worst nightmare. Totally. Where you just try to play piano, but you face first fall into it and then you moon the whole audience. Totally. And it's I'm not wearing pants.
Yeah, it's so
embarrassing.
It is your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
But that said, it's okay, everybody would laugh and we love sharing laughs like that. We love spreading cheer like that.
Shared a few laughs this evening.
Yeah, but we love to spread cheer to others and make other people laugh. But we are also responsible for Forrest's what happens to him. We are the ones looking out for him. We are his protector, and we just don't know what could happen with a video like that and how that might haunt him when he's older, or and also the spirit of it is kind of ha ha ha,
you're laughing at him,
Dumbo, look what happened to you. And for us, we love Forrest so much, so we're just but still laughing our heads off. But other people who don't know him, it might be a little bit more of malicious laughter, or there's just some mean people out there, and I just wouldn't want to invite that on Forrest. Not that he's gonna read the comments or even know, but there's still just that's an existence on the internet that's never gonna go away.
It might. People might forget about it, but I also even the comments from the last video, which was just him dancing, which is undeniably cute, and it's all just his personality. There were some pretty nasty comments in there, and I can only imagine what this would bring out in the Reddit community.
Yeah.
Also, you don't see a lot of naked baby bums out being shared on the internet, so it most likely would get shared. It would get it flagged.
Totally, yeah.
And we're just gonna keep it to family friends. Yeah. And if you, gracious listener, would like to see it, we would, if you direct message us on Facebook.
If
or
you're just like
something,
dying to see it.
if you're like, I
then
gotta see this hilarious video that they're talking about.
Then we can spread the cheer to
Just
you.
send it,
but
privately. But we'll send you a private link
because it's really freaking
It's
hilarious.
so funny. It's objectively really.
They're just
It's like a cartoon.
The
It's like
slow
out of a
bum
cartoon.
reveal is so funny.
It's like out of a cartoon where this character is just like it's like worse luck ever. It's like Looney Tunes or
Yes,
whatever.
that's
where
exactly
like
what I
the
thought
Wile E.
of.
Coyote goes
Elmer
play Fudd.
Fudd.
Yeah, totally. And he just
It's an Elmer Fudd moment, actually.
Totally.
It would
And the-
happen
the-
to Elmer Fudd.
pants just like bare bum, like head on the keyboard.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to watch that video again like 3 more times tonight.
Yeah, it's a winner.
I'm gonna watch that basically laughing really releases a lot of great pheromones.
Oh yeah.
Like physically in your body can change like your hormonal makeup in an instant. And I'm gonna turn to that video when I need to have a good laugh.
Absolutely.
There's the yawn of the night. I think that means it's time to call it.
Call it as it is, which is the night.
It is the night. Well, this has been a really fun time, Johnny.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed your company.
I've enjoyed your company.
And I have also, listener, enjoyed your perceived company.
Yes, me too. Wow, you are a great listener.
Hey, you know what? If you ever have things that you want to share with us that you think are funny or, interesting or relevant to what we've been talking about, I'd be super interested in hearing about that or like reading about it. So just, share it with us.
Too.
Johnny agrees.
I
We have like
agree.
a Twitter and a Facebook and an Instagram and a YouTube, which you can get links to through our website,
Yes.
carlyandjohnny.com.
But really, it's just Carly that runs it because I don't like using my social media.
And you have a full-time job, so...
I have a full-time job, but that's
And-
no excuse because most people have full-time jobs and most people use social media
I don't
on
know.
the regular.
I don't know how they do that. It's crazy.
On the toilet. Long poos that aren't poos.
I've actually come to realize that I don't bring my phone with me to the bathroom, and I'm really missing out on an
What?
opportunity.
You know what? Maybe you're not missing out on an opportunity. Maybe you just enjoy that bathroom time, and that's your time.
I actually just go in and I'm out like 3 seconds later. But I
Wow.
think I could probably get away with 2 more minutes in there.
That blows my mind.
I know, right?
That's too
Doesn't matter.
short.
It doesn't matter whether it's a 1 or a 2. I'm out of there.
Wow. You're just like, what? It's just
Somebody who's the same as me actually really put it a great way. They're like, I don't want to be in there any longer than I have to. When you're doing a twosie and you're just like, okay, and I'm out.
I love it. I just love being like, this is my time. That's like, there's no
I know
expectation.
you do. I know
Yeah.
you do. And I know that sometimes you go in there under the guise of it being a 2. Under the guise of it being a 2.
But it's really a one.
But it's really a 1 with Reddit.
And then you can tell because
You have a handprint on your
I
face
have a
when you come
handprint
out.
on my face. It's hey, trademark of mine.
Hey, you got to get your private time somehow, right?
You got to get your private time somehow, right?
Wow, Johnny, you are really good at repeating me. It's like one of those kids that just going to repeat everything you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely
well,
everything.
you're rubbing your face on the microphone, so I think that's a sign.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything we're going to edit out of this podcast.
No, I think it's been a pretty relatively good one.
Yeah. I don't think there's a single moment.
Except,
Maybe this one. Good night.
yeah,
great talking to you.
we're going to talk to you next week, and I love you.
We're going to bring you something completely different, way outside of the box.
You're not even going to
It's-
be expecting it.
It's going to be unexpected. It'll be blue
out of the box.
Called You Won't Believe What This Podcast Is About.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right.
That's
so
what and then
stay
you
tuned.
will listen to it and it will be like this amazing unfolding story.
The music is definitely rising right now. Just as I hope
is?
that you know, yeah. Like
This
as
is
I
an
ed-
ad.
when I edit this
Yeah.
podcast, the music is already playing us out.
Wow. This
So.
is okay. But this is an ad for our next future podcast that it will be great.
Mhm.
And for those of
Promises.
you listening to the very end of this podcast, wow. Just we're going to give you
You
a
get a
secret.
gold star.
We're going to give
like
you a
the
secret
shiniest.
code word that we're going to ask you when you tell us I've listened to your podcast. And they'll say, yeah, what's the secret code word that we say at the end? And if they don't know, I know that they did not listen to the end.
Okay, what is it going to be?
Let's say on 3, we're going to say it. 1, 2, 3.
Magikarp. Oh man, mine was way better.
What's yours?
Magikarp.
What's that?
It's a Pokemon.
Mine was snail.
That's pretty good.
Just basic.
So if you get either one of those words, you win.
I don't know about Magikarp.
Why?
'Cause
That's
I'm
like
just
pretty special. Like
it
people
sounds
couldn't
like-
guess that one.
It sounds like you were going to say magic carpet, but then just stopped.
Well,
Magikarp.
that's Pokemon's fault.
I
That was
don't-
their choice.
Pokemon. it was Pokemon's fault.
Exactly.
It was Pokemon the thing.
Yeah, it was Pokemon's fault.
Pokemon the idea.
Yeah.
Magikarp
So, anyway,
or snail. If you come up to us and say either of those words, or if you are a couple and say those words at the same time,
Like we
will
did.
give you a treat. We'll give you something that's on us. And
we
for
will be
keeps.
required
Whatever's
to
in our pockets. One of those things in our pockets we'll give to you.
we will also be required to compose a song for you live on the spot.
Jinx.
Jinx, double jinx.
And we'll just
You're gonna be so lucky when that happens.
you're gonna feel so
Just wait
proud
for
of
it.
yourself.
Johnny's gonna beatbox, and I'm gonna like woo 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 woo.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. And if Forrest there, he'll dance.
Man, people have
He'll
stopped
dance-
listening
he'll
by now.
dance
Like they
for
thought the
you.
podcast ended minutes ago.
I know. They probably just like, oh, I'm gonna listen to Go Jorgen right now.
He's way better than this.
Joe Dorgan. Or,
Do it, Joe Gorgon.
Or what are other famous podcasts? This American Life. But I don't live in American Life.
I know.
We should have a podcast called This Canadian Life.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh.
Anyway, apparently we have more energy ending this podcast than we normally have. So yay us.
I just feel like it's like when we're at the beginning of a relationship, we're just like, you hang up the phone.
No, you hang up, which we did so much. Oh my gosh, we actually we Skyped all the way through the night and woke up next to each other.
On Skype.
Mm-hmm.
That was, not anymore.
No, because I have you next to me.
Oh, so we should.
But I mean, we
yeah,
could like
just,
turn
like,
to
have
separate sides
Skype.
of the bed and have.
Just Skype with each other.
We'd probably have some bad feedback.
Yeah, from our friends that heard about it and
like that's not a
that's
good
weird.
idea.
Why would you do that? That's some bad feedback. Oh,
Well, this has been fun. I look forward to next week.
yeah, me too. This has been a long one.
Yeah, really? Look
A
at
minute
that.
and
Woo.
20,
People
hour
have
and 20
hung the
minutes.
F up. The finger has come down on
Yes,
the stop button.
That old rotary phone has been.
But listen,
slammed.
hey, if you are still listening, that means you really like us. And that would be so cool if you just went into your podcast app and gave us a friggin' review.
Yeah.
We could use some real reviews.
Some love.
And listen up. I think that maybe we're going to give some incentives for reviews. So, like, surprise us and give us a review. Maybe, like, let us know that you've reviewed us and we'll give you something sweet. We'll
Whatever's in
we'll
our
write you a
pockets.
poem, one word at a time, Johnny doing the word and then me doing the word, and it's
Wow.
going to be specifically for you.
Amazing. Probably won't do that though.
No, we will.
We will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I mean, how many reviews are we
And here's
actually going to get out
another
of
here's
this?
another thing. The first code words those were decoy, because if you stop listening, then we'll know, because the real code word is
Decoy.
decoy. That is the real code word. So if you come to us and saying decoy, we'll be like, wow.
Man, I actually liked the other words better. I regret that.
No, decoy's good, because if somebody does go and say decoy to us, it'll be like, that is impressive.
That's
I'm
how
impressed.
far
And
they
whatever's
really
in my
got.
pocket, whatever's in my pockets right now, you can have one of those things.
Man, this is the last part of this podcast. If you made it this far, like you must feel like you hit the jackpot. Like you,
You're so
this
happy.
is the gold. This is where it all is.
It's like, wow, decoy. I'm so happy. Write it down right on your hand, so that you don't forget. Yeah,
You know, when you
decoy.
stumble across like a treasure chest in Zelda.
You know what it is? It's when you're playing Mario, the first world, Mario 3, and you get that flute, and you're like, instead of right away, but instead of doing that, you actually get the second flute.
The second flute?
There's another flute. There's two flutes in the first world.
And it doesn't matter because they both do the same thing.
Yeah, no, but then you can skip to the next world after that.
Oh,
world.
oh, oh,
It's
oh,
just
oh,
like
oh,
double
oh.
it's double the flute.
Double the flute.
Two flute. Okay.
All right. You know
Decoy
what? This
is
is
the
great.
secret word.
We love you, and we'll see you next
Thank
week.
you. I love you. Goodbye.
Love you. Bye. That was episode 12 of Merriment. Thanks for joining us. And hey, listen, you want that mango muffin recipe I was talking about? How about the homemade shampoo, conditioner, deodorant? That's all available for you on our website. It's just waiting for your eyes. Also, we're going to post the video of our disaster house that I was showing Johnny, you know, the one where the house was totally trashed by a toddler. A few corrections to some stupid things we said are also on our website for this episode, carlyandjohnny.com, CARLY and JOHNNY.com. And if you want to see the hysterical video of Forrest that we were killing ourselves laughing about but can't post publicly, DM us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just declare that you won't share it, and we will send it to you. Just search Carly and Johnny. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your existence.